Hello everyone and welcome to my channel Northern Lad Reviews. In this series I'm going to be reviewing other people's favourite films that I've not seen before to see if I enjoy them as much as they do. Let's get started. This week's film is Inception. Inception was written and directed by Christopher Nolan and stars Leonardo DiCaprio amongst many other great actors. This film was released about 10 years ago in 2010 and is a action-packed, mind-bending, thrilling, spy, thought-provoking adventure that I'm surprised I've never seen before now. You see, when I've been talking to people about this film, I mentioned it to a couple of friends that I was going to be reviewing Inception, and they were like, oh my god, I can't believe you've never seen that film before. Which, I get that quite a lot, to be honest with you, considering I'm a bit of like a film geek. There's a lot of like epics that I've never seen before. This was one of them, and one of my friends, when I said, you know, I'd never seen Inception, he was like, oh, I really love that film, it's one of the greatest films ever made. But then I spoke to other people as well, and they were like, it's shite, that film, I didn't understand it. I think you fall in one of those two camps. You either absolutely adore the film and think it's amazing, or you hate it because you don't get it, you don't get it or you didn't understand it.
What an idiot! Oh!
And for an example, I watched the film, or at least I tried to watch the film with my girlfriend Leah. She's one of them people who, she'll have a film on, and no matter what film it is, it'll be on, but she'll be like looking at her phone, and she'll glance up when anything's happening in the film. She'll still be watching the film, but it's sort of a background to her, being on a phone or whatever, which is fine.
Are you sure about that?
Well, this is definitely not a film you can watch and sort of just casually watch it in the background while you're doing something else. This is such a psychological film. It's a journey that you need to focus on and concentrate on, because if you don't, you're really going to get lost.
What do you expect me to do?
Focus.
Funnily enough though, Leah did start to liven up quite a lot when Cillian Murphy and Tom Hardy started to walk onto the screen. She must really respect their acting credentials. It's mind-bending enough watching this film and trying to get your head around the themes. The fact that Christopher Nolan sat down and actually wrote this, it's just incredible how someone can manifest this story in the mind. It's incredible. There's so many layers, so many complexities to this film. It was just a joy to watch and to understand how much work must have gone into this. Each character has got their own little character arc or their own little obstacle to get over. The storyline is, if you've seen it, you know how intricate it is. There's so many twists, so many turns, and then as well, you can't mention Inception without mentioning the visual effects. Whoa! To be fair, I'm a little bit disappointed in myself, because when this film came out in the cinemas, it would have been such a spectacle to see and witness the visual effects of this film, because I'm only watching it in my telly in my living room, and I'm not getting the full effect. I'm not getting the experience that the lucky people who would have seen this in the cinemas would have got. When the city sort of folds on itself, it's a very famous shot, really. I've actually seen it in popular culture, references to the film, even in advertisements and stuff. I've probably seen it in a Sky Movies advertisement or something like that. So I knew what was in it, but seeing it in the context of the film and having an understanding of what's actually going on really adds to the experience, and it was quality. It was so good to see these visual effects. Of course, these visual effects were sort of replicated in a way in the Marvel film Doctor Strange. There was a lot of visual effects in that film that definitely they took inspiration from Inception, which shows even today, like, you know, years later, people, you know, filmmakers, writers, taking inspiration from this incredible movie. How has he wrote this? The film just moves at breakneck speeds as well. It's, you know, for the majority of it anyway. There's so much film packed into this. You're getting so much. It's like they should have been charging more at the cinema for you to watch this film, because it's like you're just getting more than a film. You're getting an experience, and I don't think there's many films these days that really give you that experience. You could maybe argue, you know, massive MCU events like the Avengers films maybe give you an incredible experience, but even those films, with all the characters that they've got and the storytelling, they are pulled from a lot of historical literature, comic books that have been around for years and years and years. They're pulling from all of those different storylines, whereas Inception is an original piece. It's been taken out of Christopher Nolan's mind and then put onto the screen, and I appreciate that more because it's an original work. It's incredible, really, to think that Christopher Nolan went from writing The Dark Knight, an incredible masterpiece of filmmaking, not just as a comic book film, but as just a film in general. Then he went from that to this, which again is another home run. What a guy. How did he write this? Christopher Nolan, he's meticulously crafted this film. There's so many different areas that he's nailed. You know, he's nailed the storytelling, he's nailed the character moments who've got each individual, you know, story arcs for each other. And there's a lot of characters in this film as well. You know, main characters wise, there's like 5, 6, 7 characters. So it's sort of, we're used to that today. We're used to the big, you know, the big films where there's lots of characters because we've been spoilt over the recent years with it. But this was at a time when it was quite a new thing to have so many main characters in a film, and yet he did it masterfully. And additionally as well, the story requires so much exposition, and what I mean by that is there's so much going on, and because it's in like not a real world.
You're not real, man.
Things are happening in this where, you know, in real life these things couldn't happen. So they've got to explain how these things work within the world of Inception. You know, like with how they go into the dreams within dreams, how that would work. They don't overly explain the things that are not necessarily needed to be explained. You don't really know how they go into the dreams. It's not explained because it doesn't need to be explained. All that matters is the story and the characters. Christopher Nolan obviously knew that when he was writing it. How has he wrote this? And let's just talk about those characters as well for a moment. The acting in this film is obviously amazing. Leonardo DiCaprio, I don't know if this was before he'd ever won an Oscar, and I remember years ago, you know, in the past few years, before he got the Oscar for The Revenant, there was always talk about how did Leonardo DiCaprio not get an Oscar. You know, if you've seen Wolf of Wall Street, you've seen how good he was in that film. But this is another film where, you know, you're watching it and you're thinking, this guy can act. Is he the best modern actor in the modern era? Is he the best actor at the moment? I mean, I think it's quite hard to argue that because of films like this and The Wolf of Wall Street. What a guy. What an actor.
I'm the king of the world!
And the supporting cast as well, Cillian Murphy, Tom Hardy. We've even got Michael Caine in this. And I was a bit gutted because Michael Caine's only in it for like 2 minutes screen time. I love Michael Caine, he's one of my favourite actors. So I was like, is there anyone who's not in this film? Because like it's got such a great cast. And they all really do smash it. They all like are really bringing in their A game as well, which was fantastic to see. Tom Hardy and Cillian Murphy together as well. before Peaky Blinders days. If you've not seen Peaky Blinders as well, give that a watch. That's an awesome programme, that. But yeah, everyone had great chemistry together. Everyone nailed the dramatic parts. And as well, fair play to them for getting their head around this. Because how did Christopher Nolan write this? Inception is a film that is so many things. It's intelligent, it's bold, it's complex with an intriguing plot, fantastic character moments, and I genuinely don't know how a person goes about writing this. Yes, the film requires concentration and focus, but if you give this film what it asks of you, which is your undivided attention and your focus,
You stay focused.
then it rewards you. In a word, masterpiece. That was my review of Inception. Thanks very much for joining me today. If you enjoyed the video, then leave me a like and subscribe to the channel. Pop into the comments as well. Let me know at the end of Inception, it left a little bit of a cliffhanger. Do you think he was actually dreaming at the end, or do you think it was real and he was in reality? Pop in the comments, let me know what you think. Thanks very much for joining me, and ta-ra for now.